I've worked with Luigi before, and we have developed a relationship working on some skills of loose leash walk, focus on me, touch games, sit, down, wait to go through a threshold, and go to place. This will serve us well as I work with Luigi in developing alternative behaviors to nervous behaviors such as lunging, barking, and snapping. What I mean by neutral behavior would be walking away, focusing on me, being able to turn and not focus on that thing in front of him. These are all alternative behaviors that'll be incompatible with barking, lunging, etc. We're going to start in the parking lot at the veterinary hospital so that Luigi has a nice open space to just smell, check things out a little bit. We use a little bit of our place work here using this bench so that he has a little job to do. Notice that we try to really keep that leash as loose as possible when we're working him so that he has opportunities to check things out, make decisions on refocusing on me, and then we'll mark and pay that. There I gave just a little bit of information on the leash as an interrupter, and then when he focused on me, I marked and rewarded it. The other thing I'd like to note is just how slow and easy we go. We're not in a hurry. We're not in a rush. We just allow him to take in the information in the environment to start to get used to these novel things. Another important thing here is I just give him a little bit of affection in the parking lot. We keep things light. He enjoys the affection. You can see here from that body language that he's in a good space. He's not fearful. He's not shutting down. This hasn't become just a horrible place. So we want to create that relationship and that engagement so that this is kind of a really cool place to come visit. In this little clip, we're starting to put some food on the ground so that he has to do a little bit of nose work to smell it, chase it down. That'll also allow him to have some other smells on the ground. And these are all things that help to desensitize how he's feeling about this environment.
Yeah, good boy. That was amazing.
Now a person's coming out with their dog, so notice here I move behind him a little bit off to the side so that if he were to have an explosion at all, a reaction, I would give him a little pop on the leash as an interrupter, but he did really well. So I'm using the leash so that I have control, but I try not to put pressure on the leash. Again, I have it off to the side. I let him get in and smell, check things out, but I'm ready in case he goes over threshold so I can help to interrupt that and give him another opportunity to make a better choice. So there he's checking out the gal getting in the car. I make myself low and inviting. Now here he just wants to smell. I'm going to be ready there when he turns to tell him he's doing a great job, just to keep things light and easy for him. He needs to know that we're there to support him. So here you're going to see he has a little reaction right there. I gave a little pop to the side. I'm going to give one more right there. Just a little pop to interrupt and get him to start making a better choice in terms of thinking. His choice. Now here he's going to make a really nice choice. He turns, we mark and reward. So I didn't put tension on the leash, which can create more of that reactivity. I loosen the leash up and I let him just smell and make a good choice. Another thing to note is that moving is really helpful for dogs versus keeping them stationary. So when you have reactivity or fear or concern about something in the environment, if they're asked to sit and stare at it, that can make it a lot harder for them to get comfortable around that thing or that person or that other dog. So moving is really important. Fluency of movement helps to keep things in a better headspace. Keeping that leash really loose is also really important, right? He's learning to make those turns with me, but I don't create a lot of tension on the leash. The looser the better, but I still have control. So we're going to try and attempt a door opening just so he can peek in, get a little smell, and then we walk away, we mark and we reward. This is big stuff for him. Now notice there's a couple of people and a couple dogs coming out. He notices them right there. He turned and looked at me. I mark and I reward. Again, I try not to have a lot of tension on that leash. He's making really nice choices, but I am ready to interrupt the behavior of the bark or the lunge if I need to. So here he's going to use his nose. He's just trying to get some information from the folks and the dog that went in. They did a nice job there. So give him access to scenting and getting that information. And again, movement is really important so that he is moving with me and paying attention to me, but I'm also letting him check out the environment. Look at that nice choice he made there, turning, taking a seat on that mat in place position, and then we mark and move away. That was really, really good on his part. Now we're going to try a front sit, opening the door. Notice there's no pressure on the leash. Unless he moves, I'm going to apply a little negative reinforcement to resit him right there, and then the pressure comes off that leash again. I don't want to keep constant pressure. We want no pressure. He makes a good choice. We mark, we move, we walk away.
Yay, good job, buddy. That was so good. That was so good.
So he's going to get another opportunity with this little dog walking by. Now he's just using his nose. He's very curious here, but notice I don't let him rush up on the dog, but I do let him scent and get some information. There, he turned. He made a really nice choice. I was ready to mark and reward. Notice my food placement is very low, right? My hands aren't high because then he would want to jump up for the food. So with each rep, I really try to make an effort to keep my hands low towards where his muzzle would be.
Yes, sir.
So we did another, just walk up to the door, turn and move away. Now we're making entrance actually into the veterinary hospital, and we took him right over to a scale, and we've done that place work, which is going to like a cot and going on a cot, and good things happen on the cot. We do sitting and downing and staying in place there a little bit. And so this is no different than if he was on that little stationary cot. This is a great little skill for him to have in order to be able to get a weight when he first comes in. So there's a little routine. Every time he checks in with me here, I mark and reward for checking in here. We're within about 6 feet of multiple dogs in the room and multiple people, and he's doing an amazing job. So he's what we call working in this environment, right? We're keeping his brain engaged, and he's working, focusing in on just hanging out over there, paying attention to me. This is a great skill to have even at home when someone comes to the door, right? That he learns to just be able to hang out on something and relax. So this is no different than coming here where there's a lot going on here at the hospital. This works well when we can keep them under threshold, so that if he does go over threshold, we can control it, interrupt it, and then get him back in a good space. So again, here, there's lots of people in the room, there's dogs in the room, there's noise, and he's doing an amazing job. Look at how many times he checks in with me, checks what's going on. I mark and I reward. Now watch the check-ins that he does with me. He checks things out, checks in with me. That's fantastic. That's really, really important.
Yeah, we do. We have like over the counter. That would be okay. Yeah, we do. Did you want to take one home today?
This dog is up on its two hind legs with its owner, and you can see he's just checking it out, not getting overwhelmed. Now there's a couple people coming in, another dog coming in, so his nose is going to tell him all about that. Again, he's doing a really nice job of just staying nice and relaxed. Now here we're going to actually move him through the lobby here, in this little waiting area here. We're going to allow him here to move through. Again, the leash is loose, but I don't give him all 6 feet. And we just let him come over to an area where there now is a waiting room. So he's checking out what's in the room, just smelling a little bit while things are going on. And here on his own, he actually laid down. Now you're going to see a little bit of a reaction here because there's a dog over a gate that tries to get up on the gate and barks at him. He has a reaction, but we adjust it. We give him a little correction right here. So we had a little reaction there. We just interrupted it. Now notice we don't have him leave the scene, right? The dog isn't going to bother him anymore. So here we let him just kind of smell, get some more information. He checks back in with me. Let him know he's doing a great job. I'm not forcing him to go over there. I'm simply saying we're going to stay within this area again here. He's got some space, and I'm just going to work him through this a little bit. So we do some touch game. We get him to do a down, a sit, a stand. Just working him through the little things he knows. All the while there's things happening in the room. I'm talking to the nurse or the veterinary assistant. He sees that I'm talking to that person, so that helps him relax a little bit. Now you can see he looks pretty good. There's other dogs in the room that are going to start barking. He looks at them and then he says, okay, no big deal. Because we've got him focused on what's happening in terms of what we're asking him to do. So here he's pulling a little bit, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a correction, ask him to sit, because remember, I don't want pressure on that leash. If he gets up again, I'm going to help him again. I might put a little bit of pressure on his back end, slightly, just to help with that sit, because I don't want pressure on that leash. And then once I get him seated, I'm going to mark and reward that, just to let him know, hey, we're just going to hang out here. Because the other dog over there was starting to get up a little bit worried about what was going on in his world. And so we want him just to be able to stay put so that other dog can also stay relaxed. Again, he looks really good here, nice and relaxed. Body language looks good. And as you can see, we've got a waiting room full of people and dogs that he's just getting to hang out with and relax around. There, we get a nice down all on his own. So I mark and reward that. Here's where the dogs start to get a little worked up. He stays and does a nice job. Here, he's going to pop up, but he's going to focus on me. I'm going to mark and reward that. Absolutely will reward that, because that is a great behavior. I'd rather have him focus on me than get too worked up over what's in the room. Here we're going to call it a day. We're going to walk right out with dogs and people. And actually when we get outside, he's going to see another dog. And we let him check them out. Here comes 2 more dogs. We keep working him, even past those dogs. We're gonna work him a little bit.
Yes, sir. Good boy. Good
So there he's just using his nose. He focuses back on me. And again, look at that body language. Soft, wiggly body. We're gonna pay him for that good emotional calmness that he's displaying. And then we're gonna call the session a day. Walk him to the car, and he had a beautiful session.